For the last 3 years on Copper 90, we've travelled the world watching football. And in that time, we've experienced some of the best atmospheres around. These are 10 of our favourites.
At 10, it's the Portland and Seattle derby game in Cascadia. The rivalry between these two teams is the perfect example of the incredible supporter scene that is developing in the United States. Giant tifos, a mascot with an actual chainsaw and non-stop 90-minute chanting, these two sets of fans are redefining football culture in North America. At 9, it's the amazing derby game from SPAKENBERG, a tiny fishing village in the Netherlands. In a town of just 20,000 people, this derby attracts a capacity crowd of 8,000, with plenty more watching from the rooftops. The entire village turns into a party on the day of the game, with people of all ages getting together in the name of football, with just enough tension to get the blood pumping, all of which serves to create one of our favourite atmospheres around. At 8, it's Steaua Bucharest in basketball. This might seem like another weird one, but we ended up here when we went to Bucharest to tell a tragic story about a historic football club having its identity stripped away from it. Steaua fans were boycotting the football in protest at everything that was going on.
We feel like some big picture of our life is missing.
But their love for the club, which no longer existed, had to have an outlet somewhere. At 7, it's Napoli's San Paolo Stadium. The atmosphere in the San Paolo is unique, not just for its cauldron-like construction, but because what it represents. Every time Napoli go on the pitch, the pride of the city is on the line, and boy can you feel it. The last-minute Higuain winner when we were there sent shockwaves through the whole of Napoli. At 6, it's FC United of Manchester. There's nothing quite like owning your own club to make you feel connected to it. And with a brand new stadium now up and running, you can feel the pride coming out of every corner of Broadhurst Park. But this position in our countdown really goes out to all the supporter-owned clubs we've visited. From Union Berlin to Cork City, Venus Sports Club, Bohemians, Real Oviedo, Fischer and countless others. The fans who control their own destiny and know that their club is in the hands of people who care about it, are privileged, and they know that. And that really comes out in the feeling of being in the crowd at one of these clubs. At 5, it's the pure passion, intensity and heart of Bows, Rovers and the Dublin Derby. Perhaps the smallest amount of people making the most noise, this was one of my favourite ever trips.
Before I came out here, if you told me I'd experienced my most exhilarating moment, I would have told you to get out of here, but I did.
These two sets of fans have a lot to contend with, but what they give back is up there with anything in football. At 4, it's the famous punks of St. Pauli. Known the world over for their inclusive politics, the fans of St. Pauli also create one of the best atmospheres around, exemplified by the diversity of their support and the all-day partying that goes on in the district on game day. At 3, it's the WESTFALENSTADIon and BVB's mighty Yellow Wall. We've had many a great trip to Dortmund, but none more special than Jurgen Klopp's last game after 7 glorious years in charge.
It's really the end of an era for us Dortmund supporters. I'm going to shed some tears probably.
At 2, it's a city and a derby. So good, we went there twice. In Sarajevo, football means more than you could possibly imagine. And the emotional outpouring on Derby Day is something I'll never forget. The combination of a properly intense, pyro-heavy stadium and the incredible warmth and generosity of the locals make this one of the most special places to visit, whichever stadium you're at. And at number 1, it's the ultimate Copper 90 football trip, and the one that opened my eyes to the visceral power of an Eastern European football crowd. Sometimes scary, sometimes violent, but always the most exhilarating experience you can have at a football match. Despite the trouble it sometimes attracts, the Belgrade derby is a genuinely beautiful manifestation of the communal power of the game.
Well, that's a few of our favourite atmospheres from our travels over the years. But it's not a definitive list, it's not an objective list, and it's definitely not an exhaustive list. But what's your favourite atmosphere? Where haven't we been? Where should we go? Subscribe to Copper 90 and leave a comment telling us.